I was born in Evansville, Indiana, and attended a non-denominational independent Christian church there. Felt like we were always there. It was our chosen family. It was my first example of community. When I was 13, we moved to Albemarle, North Carolina, and since non-denominational independent Christian churches don't really exist in small town North Carolina, my family decided to become Baptist, and we attended First Baptist Church. I went to UNC Chapel Hill, and that's where I feel like I made the decision to be Baptist. I joined Ephesus Baptist Church and became the president of the Baptist Student Union. And along the way, I got a bachelor's degree in Latin American Studies. A couple of years later, I went back to Chapel Hill for a master's degree in social work. I commuted every week for 3 years from Charlotte while also working full-time. I highly recommend not doing that. My professional life has been mainly in nonprofit and government work, first as an AmeriCorps Vista. Then I worked for 15 years in the field of intimate partner violence, first in our local crisis shelter and then in the hospital setting, working with victims and survivors there. After needing to shift away from 24/7 crisis work, I transitioned to working in higher education, and for the last 8 years, I've been at Central Piedmont Community College, first in the counseling department and now in the academic advising area. I'm married a Furman grad.
Go Furman.
Go Paladins. Brett and I just celebrated our 10th wedding anniversary over Christmas. We have 2 dogs, Hobbs and LV. They are our reason for being. We love to travel and get outside. Brett's a cyclist, I'm a runner. I love to read, I love to laugh. And I like to learn how things happen and look at how things can be solved. I've been a member here, as Russ said, for 20 years.
We're so glad to have you. Erin and Brett were married in Austria, and Amy and I will never forgive them that they didn't invite us to do their wedding in Austria. But the pictures were beautiful. Thank you. Your work now is at Central Piedmont. Tell us a little bit about how you got into that and what gifts and callings and passions you find in that work.
I got into that work through friends. I have several friends and former colleagues who transitioned from working in nonprofit work into working in higher ed. And so they encouraged me to take my skills and energies from crisis intervention into a new arena. My current role is working mostly with new students, so first time in college, a lot who are first generation college students. Most of them are undecided or unsure about where college will lead them. And so I think a common through line in my work that brings me joy and use my gifts is that I can meet people where they are, and I can empower and support and ease their way to give them the tools and the knowledge that they need to take the next right step. I'm really good at listening to and observing a big picture issue and offering adjustments in how things may be different, both on an individual scale and on an organizational scale. And I love that my job uses those gifts, so I'm able to work on a college level and a department level to try to shift things a little bit and help our students and our work.
Because I know, Erin, I know that the students at Central Piedmont are fortunate to have her. I'm really grateful for the work that you do there, especially with those first-generation college students. The word that jumped out at us today as we were thinking about the interview and this service was the word happy from that first psalm. And I thought about the words of the Beatitudes, which we used in the opening litany. Blessed are, blessed are. And the word blessed in the Greek can also be translated happy. So there seems to be some connection. So I wanted to ask you to talk for just a moment about what makes you happy and what in your job makes you happy.
I find happiness doing a puzzle on a Friday night listening to yacht rock. I find happiness and what brings me joy is going for a long run and it ending. I enjoy that. Planning a new trip, but then experiencing serendipity in exploring new places and meeting new people. In my job, what brings me happiness and what makes me happy is seeing a light bulb turn on for a student. Seeing them feel like they belong and that they have a step forward or a path recognizing their strengths and seeing themselves as successful. That makes me happy. And then being part of an amazing team. We are a small team, and so we have to support each other, and that makes all the difference. And I've found that in all of my jobs, being part of a collective community working towards a common goal.
Like the word joy that we find in Scripture, I think the word happiness that the psalmist refers to is deeper than superficial excitement. It refers to a true happiness of the heart, a real satisfaction in finding oneself in life and meaning and purpose, which really is blessing. So thinking about blessing and happiness, what blessings have you had, and how is that related to happiness?
I've been blessed with supportive parents. I've been blessed with a chosen community at every stage in my life, whether that be mentors or professors, colleagues and friends that accept me, but also challenge me to lean into the unknown. I think that for me, the blessing of the next right step. I challenge my students not to think about the end goal, but what is the next right step, and for myself as well. My career has not been a straight line, from Latin American studies to AmeriCorps to intimate partner violence to academic advising. That's not an intuitive through line, but for me, it's about the blessing is in growing and building and pivoting to the next good thing.
Erin, thank you for sharing with us. I wonder what advice you might have as a final word for our folks about happiness.
Find your community. Happiness is in connection. Ease the way for someone else. Happiness is stepping outside of oneself. And take the next right step. Happiness is in a new chapter.
I think you can see it in Erin's face. We have seen it and heard it for all the years she's been with us. She's a happy person, and what she does is happy, and she makes us happy and blessed. We're blessed to have you here. Thank you so much for sharing, and for all of us, that we might find happiness in the life and work that we do. May it be so.